The grapes today are fresh. I'll take a pound.
I'll take a pound.
Watch your step here.
Pompeii, August 24th, 79 AD. The city awakens under a warm golden sunrise, peaceful and alive. Streets are quiet, rooftops bathed in sunlight, and the mighty Mount Vesuvius looms silently in the distance. In the residential streets, life begins in a calm rhythm. Women open shutters, clay pots and baskets line the streets, and dust floats lazily in the morning sun. Nothing seems amiss. In the heart of the city, the baker removes fresh bread from the stone oven. Steam rises, flour dust drifts through the sunlight. The smells of the morning fill the air, and daily life continues without concern. The marketplace awakens. Merchants arrange fruits and fish, citizens barter and laugh, and slaves carry baskets. Pompeii is vibrant, alive, and unaware of the disaster to come. From the rooftops, a faint trail of smoke drifts from Mount Vesuvius. It is subtle, almost unnoticeable, a quiet reminder of the sleeping giant behind the city. Inside a Roman home, a family sits at breakfast. Bread and olives are passed around as sunlight pours through the window. Outside, Vesuvius remains calm, its presence distant, yet looming. Streets grow busier, citizens walk, horse carts rumble by, and soldiers march. The city hums with life, oblivious to the danger above. A subtle tremor shakes the stones beneath their feet. Dust falls from buildings. A few pause, glancing down, but life continues. No one knows. This is only the beginning. The smoke atop Vesuvius thickens, rising higher into the sky. The sunlight begins to dim slightly as ash starts to creep into the air, unnoticed by most. Suddenly, the mountain erupts violently. A massive column of ash blasts skyward, black and towering, a shockwave radiating outwards. The city stops, citizens staring upward in disbelief. People point and whisper, fear beginning to take hold. The ash cloud is growing, darker now, descending slowly. Confusion mixes with the first taste of panic, dusting rooftops and streets. Hands reach out instinctively, brushing away the fine grey particles. The city is still standing, but change is in the air. The ash falls heavier now. Panic spreads. Parents grab their children, merchants abandon their stalls, and people begin to run. The first waves of chaos ripple through Pompeii. The sky darkens unnaturally. As sunlight is blocked by thickening ash. Shadows grow longer, and a sense of foreboding fills the city. The day feels like evening, yet it is still early afternoon. Desperate citizens flee toward the city gates. Horse carts are overloaded, people pushing, pulling, struggling. Chaos dominates as survival instinct takes over. Ash accumulates quickly, covering the streets, slowing movement. Citizens wade through the growing grey sea, coughing and shielding their faces. The environment becomes suffocating. Roofs collapse under the weight of ash. Buildings crumble, Debris falls into the streets, forcing people to scatter. Panic is now absolute, the city beginning to crumble around them. As darkness envelops Pompeii, torches are the only sources of light. Ash swirls around citizens, obscuring vision, creating an eerie and oppressive atmosphere. Fear grips all. A pyroclastic flow begins to race down Vesuvius's slopes. A wall of searing ash and gas moves with terrifying speed, unstoppable, swallowing everything in its path. The scale of the disaster is immense. The cloud approaches Pompeii, faster than anyone can react. Dust and heat fill the air. Visibility drops. The city braces for the inevitable, but there is no escape. The surge hits. Streets disappear under waves of ash. Citizens are thrown to the ground, screaming, suffocating. Chaos turns to desperation as the city is consumed in moments. Slowly, figures vanish into the dense grey cloud. Silhouettes fade, swallowed by ash. The streets fall silent. Movement ceases, and Pompeii is trapped in the deadly embrace from above. Pompeii is completely buried under a thick layer of ash. Mount Vesuvius smokes quietly in the background. The once vibrant city lies still, frozen in time, the disaster complete. Today, the ruins of Pompeii stand as a haunting reminder. Empty streets, preserved stone buildings, and silent alleyways tell the story of a city lost in hours, frozen for nearly 2,000 years. Final act. Pompeii, the city that refused to die. Pompeii disappeared, buried beneath meters of ash and stone. The city that once echoed with laughter, with business, with life, vanished from the world. Entire generations lived and died without knowing it existed. The people of Pompeii were gone, but their story wasn't. The mountain had preserved what it destroyed, like a message frozen in time, waiting for someone to find it. Then, in the 18th century, workers digging beneath the earth made an astonishing discovery. An entire city, frozen in its final moments, homes still standing, bread still sitting in ovens, paintings still hanging on walls, even footprints left by people running for their lives. Pompeii became something extraordinary, not just ruins, a time machine, a direct window into the lives of ordinary people nearly 2,000 years ago. Today, millions of people walk these same streets, visitors from every corner of the world. Tourists stand where families once lived. They enter homes built nearly 2,000 years ago. They see bakeries, markets, gardens, schools, not because Pompeii survived, but because humanity did. The people of Pompeii are gone, yet their story continues to shape our understanding of ourselves. Their tragedy became our knowledge. Their loss became our lesson. Their voices still speak. Across 2 millennia, the eruption of Vesuvius changed more than a city. It changed how we understand disasters. Today, scientists monitor volcanoes around the clock. Satellites observe Earth from space. Sensors measure tiny earthquakes. Computers predict eruption patterns. Emergency systems warn entire populations within minutes. Because of tragedies like Pompeii, millions of lives have been saved. Humanity cannot stop earthquakes. We cannot stop volcanoes. We cannot stop nature. But we can prepare. We can learn. We can adapt. And sometimes, knowledge is the difference between survival and catastrophe. Pompeii teaches us something profound. Disasters rarely arrive without warning. The signs are often there. Small tremors, small changes, small signals. Ignored because life feels normal. Ignored because disaster feels impossible. The lesson isn't only about volcanoes. It's about listening to science, to evidence, to warnings, to each other. The greatest threat is not nature itself. The greatest threat is believing nothing will happen. History remembers Pompeii because it reminds us complacency has consequences, and yet, perhaps the greatest lesson is not about destruction. It is about resilience. Again and again throughout history, humanity has faced earthquakes, floods, pandemics, wars, volcanoes, and yet we endure, we rebuild, we remember, we learn. Every generation inherits the scars of the last and transforms them into wisdom. Pompeii is not merely a monument to death. It is a monument to survival, proof that even when cities fall, humanity rises today. The streets of Pompeii are silent. The ovens are cold. The markets are empty. The people are gone. But if you walk those ancient roads and listen closely, you can still hear them, not as victims, not as warnings, but as teachers. They remind us that life is fragile, that every ordinary day is a gift, that tomorrow is never guaranteed, and that our greatest strength has never been our buildings, or our technology, or our wealth. It has always been our ability to endure, to learn, to remember, and to move forward. Pompeii died in a single day, but its story has survived for nearly 2,000 years, and perhaps that is the most human thing of all. Pompeii was buried by ash, but not forgotten. Its people lost their tomorrow so that we could protect ours.